Okay, we're ready.
All right, well, hello, judges, and welcome to our National History Day project on the rights and responsibilities of slaves and their impact on the Civil War.
All right, let's break this down.
The story of the Civil War is often told as a triumph of freedom over slavery, using little more than a timeline of battles and a thin pile of legislation and plot points.
In 1860, both the North and the South believed in slavery and white supremacy. Although many Northerns talked about keeping the federal territories free land, they wanted those territories free for the white men to work and not complete against slavery.
The South seceded from the United States because they felt that their slave property was going to be taken away. When reading the secession documents, the primary reason for secession was to protect their slave property and expand slavery.
Categories of enslaved people at that time: agriculture slaves and urban slaves. Most of us are familiar with agriculture slaves. The system of slaves on the farms and plantations. On the plantations, there were houses, servants, and field hands. The house servants were usually better cared for, while field hands suffered more cruelty. Some slave owners treated their slaves very well. Some treated their slaves very cruelly, and some were in between the extremes.
Black slave owners generally owned their own family members in order to keep their families together.
They worked in factories, stores, hotels, warehouses, in houses, and for tradesmen. In some cases, these enslaved people would earn money for themselves if they worked more hours or were more productive than their rental contract requirements. They were able to work with free blacks and were able to learn the customs of white Americans.
All right. In pre-1800 North, free blacks had normal rights of citizenship. In some places, they could vote, serve on juries, and work in skilled trades. As the need to justify slavery grew stronger and racism started to solidify, most of the northern states took away some of those rights. When the northwestern states became into being, blacks suffered more severe treatment. In Ohio, blacks could not live there without a certificate proving their free status.
President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in September 1862 to take effect on January 1st, 1863. The Emancipation allows blacks to. Bureau of Colored Troops was formed, and all of the black regiments were called United States Colored Troops.
The issues of the rights were human rights because slaves had no rights. The slaves were not treated well because, to the owners, they were not humans and were not treated like humans, and they were starved, sleep deprived, and pushed to their limits. Also, they were in bad condition on the way to America.
At the end of the Civil War, the Northern troops moved down south to let the slaves free after beating the South. They became free humans, but they were still treated poorly, disrespectfully by the white people that still didn't trust the African Americans who were slaves.
This is why everybody is treated equally and respectfully as humans. After slavery was abolished, this helped the civil rights movement to earn equal rights.
The responsibilities during the Civil War were to help the Union win the war. This is because some of the slaves fought in the Civil War, and the Underground Railroad helped slaves escape slavery.
The responsibilities of the slaves after the Civil War were to obtain equal rights. Because of prominent figures like MLK, Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X, these figures have helped us after the Civil War to obtain equal rights.
The responsibilities of the slaves are important because they helped to plant and harvest crops in the South. They also helped raise children, organize the home, and cook, clean, and build buildings. They helped grow the South's wealth. Sorry. Can we edit?
Well, we are back, and let's look. We are back, and let's see what at the websites that we used.
Harvard Education,
Americans Battlefield Trust,
NMAAHC Education,
and etc.
All right, thanks judges for watching this documentary, and have a good rest of your day.
Okay.
This is the outro.